Amen. It's always good to be home and to meet the people of God once again. I want to turn your attention to an Old Testament text taken out of 2 Kings, one of my favorite passage scriptures. 2 Kings chapter 20. And I want to look at the first 11 verses. 2 Kings chapter 20, verses 1 through 11. Once you have found it, say amen.
Amen.
In those days, Hezekiah was sick and near death. Isaiah the prophet, son of Amos, went to him and said to him, "Thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live." Then he turned, Hezekiah did, his face toward the wall and prayed to the Lord, saying, "Remember now, O Lord, I pray how I have walked before you in truth and with a loyal heart, and have done what was good in your sight." And Hezekiah wept bitterly. And it happened before Isaiah had gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "Return and tell Hezekiah, the leader of my people, thus says the Lord, the God of David, your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Surely I will heal you. On the third day you shall go up to the house of the Lord, and I will add to your days 15 years.
Yeah.
I will deliver you in this city from the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for my own sake, and for the sake of my servant David." Then Isaiah said, "Take a lump of figs." So they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said to Isaiah, "What is the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up to the house of the Lord the third day?" Then Isaiah said, "This is the sign to you from the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing which he has spoken. Shall a shadow go forward 10 degrees, or go backward 10 degrees? Hezekiah answered, It is an easy thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go back 10 degrees. So Isaiah the prophet cried out to the Lord, as in the reading of the text. I want to talk from this thought. When life comes at you fast.
All right.
When life comes at you fast. There's a nationwide commercial where a string of random, unplanned, unannounced, common accidents occurred in the life and in the lives of common, ordinary people going about their ordinary day until an innocent butterfly lands on the rear window of an SUV that triggered the car alarm. The sound of the alarm startles a squirrel who is feasting on a branch with some acorns. When the alarm sounded, the squirrel slips from the branch on the acorns to fall beneath where a young woman is bathing, sunbathing. Startles the woman. She screams. A neighbor who hears the sun worker, who is sitting in her earth with a shovel and a piece of large metal on his mailbox, and lands on the roof of the man's house. My brothers and sisters, are you ready when life comes at you fast? That's the question this morning. If the truth be told, most of us are not ready. When things happen, when life happens to us fast, a divine, all-knowing, loving God can provide us with the blessed assurance that no matter what happens in our lives, no matter how fast life comes at us, it is well with our soul.
All right.
You got to believe that.
Yes, sir.
That no matter what happens,
Right.
it is still well with your soul, because you serve a God who can secure you for those 53 victims who lost their lives in gun violence in Texas alone. Without any warning, they woke up that day and didn't realize that they'll never make it back to their homes. And yet our hearts rejoice, my brothers and sisters, with the parents of that 17-month toddler named Anderson Davis. God saved a 17-month-old young child. Life comes fast. Just ask 1,000 of those in the Bahamas, in the Florida area, and along the eastern coastline when the Hurricane Dorian came through. When life comes at us fast, we must accept certain facts in this life that we have absolutely no say, we have no power, we have no control over the stuff that happens in life.
Right.
I wish I could have something to say about what's going to come down the pipe at me. I wish I had some control over what's going to happen before it happens. But the reality is, when life comes at us fast, we have neither the say, nor the power, nor the control to stop it. Amen. And so when things happen in life, we are hopelessly powerless and defenseless. Trouble is no respecter of persons. I need to preface something. Hezekiah was a good king.
Right.
He's one of the best righteous kings that ever sat upon the throne of David.
Right.
And yet in chapter 19, he and the people of Judah were attacked by the king of Syria called Sennacherib. At the same time, he is at war with the Assyrian. He becomes ill with some unknown sickness. I want you to understand something now. Between chapters 19 and 20, Hezekiah is fighting two battles simultaneously.
Yeah.
He's fighting a physical war on one hand.
Right.
He's fighting his own body on the other hand.
Right.
And the enemy has turned against him. His body has turned against him.
Right.
He's fighting a war within. He's fighting a war without. He's fighting on one hand. He's under attack by a human enemy, a physical enemy. On the other hand, he's fighting his own body is fighting against him. He's trying to survive two wars simultaneously. My brothers and sisters, what about you? Surely you're not exempt from what Hezekiah is going through. Some of us are fighting two wars at the same time, maybe three wars. So we're fighting something at home, and we're fighting something at work. We're fighting something at church, and we're fighting something at home or work at all at the same time.
Yeah.
He's fighting an enemy without. He's fighting another enemy within his own body. And just when you think things couldn't get worse, here comes the man of God.
Right. Yeah.
Here comes the man. I understand now why some of y'all say, "What's wrong, Pastor?" when I just called you. You think I got some bad news. No, it's not always the case. Isaiah comes to the king, and he tells him in verse 1, set your house in order. You will not recover from this physical illness. Get your affairs in order, for you shall die and not live. Oh, that was a harsh word from the Lord. do you do when life comes at you fast? Because I have discovered that it's very easy and it's commonplace to become so overwhelmed quite quickly by trying to make some sense out of everything without losing your balance or your faith in God. There's some stuff in life you will never understand.
Right.
And too many times we park our vehicles in that parking lot, in that space, hoping and thinking that God is going to give us some things you will never understand.
Well,
You'll never understand why some folk don't like you. You'll never understand why certain things can't happen to you. The question is, can you move on with life knowing that you don't have the answer, but yet God holds you in the hollow of his hand?
right.
How did Hezekiah deal? That's the question. With this, the news of his sickness. Look at the text. What he does in this text, my brothers and sisters, provides us with the pattern for dealing with life issues, every life issues that come at us fast. Look at verse 1. First, note the pain in his sickness in verses 1 and 7. In verse 7, we learn that his sickness was a sort of boil that manifests into an ulcer, turned into a political pain. Because it happened at the same time he's at war with the enemy. He's fighting a political battle at the same time dealing with a physical battle, and there is the prognosis of his pain in verse 1. Verse 1, the thing I find interesting, and not many people would have told Hezekiah that he was on his deathbed. Hear me now. Some doctors will not tell the patient that they're dying. Some family members will not tell their loved ones that death is knocking on their door. But had Hezekiah not been informed, he could not have done anything about his situation. Stay with me now.
All right.
It was good that Isaiah told him what thus says the Lord, because then it was up to him to do something about his situation. And think about the ramification of this. Think about that now. Had he not known, he would not have done what he does in verse 2 and verse 3. Had he not known. Now think about it, my brothers and sisters. How many people that we intersect with every day throughout our lives that are spiritually dead.
Well,
And we don't say anything to them. We don't give them any warning that they are spiritually dead, in order that they must get their house in order before they die. And Isaiah not informed the king of his imminent death, Hezekiah would not have turned to the Lord in prayer. Look at it. It says in verse 1. He tells him, verse 1. I'm not making it up. He says, set thy house in order. Verse 2. He turned his face and prayed to the Lord. Oh, my brothers and sisters, there are those who do not know anything about their condition. And there are those who will ignore the fact and the reality of that. You got folk right now walking around ignorant of the reality that one day they're going to die.
right.
Ignorant of the fact that they're not right with God.
Right.
Spiritually, many don't want to be told that they're sinners and that they're on their way to hell. So this text tells us that as believers, as the church, it is incumbent upon us to tell people, thus says the Lord. Hezekiah, set your house in order. Why? Because death is a certainty for everyone.
Right.
Do you really think you're going to live forever? I know you're trying to slow down the aging process. And how you doing with that right now? Is Botox helping?
Well,
it behooves us to set our house in order. What does that mean? You need to settle all accounts. If there's someone you are at odds with, you need to get it right. Even if they disagree with you, even if you're wrong, you need to say, I'm wrong.
well,
Set your house in order. Put in place what is out of place. Because death is certain for all of us.
right.
Just as sure as we are born, we're going to die.
Right.
Some sooner than others.
Right.
And so one day we all have to stand before the Lord
Amen.
and give an account of our stewardship. My brothers and sisters, that's the first point. Here's the second point. Note the prayer he prays in his sickness in verse 2 and 3. The text says, upon hearing the news from Isaiah that his sickness would end in death, the text says, he went into prayer mode. Verse 2 says, then he prayed unto the Lord. Hezekiah is a man of prayer. How do we know that? It was his custom. When you read his resume, it was his custom to turn to prayer when faced with a crisis. It was his custom. In chapter 19, you read it when you go home. When he heard about the enemy and what the enemy said about the God that he served, he went to God in prayer. In chapter 19, he went in prayer when the enemy sent him this evil letter. He took this letter to the house of the Lord, spread it upon his bed, and said, Lord, listen to what the enemy has said about us and about you. He didn't wait until trouble come upon him. Even though trouble moved fast, he learned to pray and call upon the name of the Lord before trouble came into his life. Too many times we want to wait until trouble comes when we ought to be praying long before trouble comes. If you learn how to pray in the sunshine, you learn how to enjoy the rain. If you learn how to pray when it's sunny and there's no reason to pray, you learn how to smile when it's storming and raining. Hezekiah is a praying man. Look at verse 2. Note the place of his prayer. The text says, then he turned his face to the wall. The wall of his bedroom. He turned his face to the wall and praised the Lord. He prayed upon his sick bed. Do you hear me? It's nice to pray in church. It's good that we come to the house of the Lord to pray. Because within these walls is a special place where God said, I will meet you. Something special about the house of the Lord. That's why when they built Jerusalem on a city, on a hill. In other words, Jerusalem is on the hill. The temple was built on the hill so that when you come from sea level to Jerusalem, you have to look up. It forced you to look up at God when you enter into his house. Oh, my brothers and sisters, but that's another thing. Listen, there are scriptures that command our attendance in prayer in the Lord's house. But what's the difference between Hezekiah is doing. The text seems to suggest to me the fact that he prayed on his sick bed suggests to me that we can pray anywhere.
Right.
Now, some of y'all gonna use that as a carte blanche. You heard what Pastor said, I don't have to come here to pray. Oh, yes, you do. He can't come to prayer service because he's sick. He turned his face to the wall and prayed, which means that when you can't come here, you ought to be able to pray wherever life has you.
Right.
You don't have to get out of jail to pray.
Right.
Pray while you're in jail.
Right.
You don't have to pray until you get out of trouble. Pray while you're in trouble. Look at this. The important thing about prayer is not the place of prayer, but the practice of prayer. The text says he prayed upon his bed. Come here, Paul and Silas. Where were you? Where was the place? We were in jail. What was the practice? We prayed and sang and prayed until midnight. And God heard our prayer. Oh, my brother. Daniel, where was the place and the practice of a prayer? I prayed while looking in the face of a lion. And I was in a lion's den. And God heard my prayer. Oh, my brother. Jesus.
Yeah.
Where is the place of prayer? I was hanging on the cross between two thieves, but I didn't stop praying there. I said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's not so much the place, but the practice of prayer.
Right.
Amen.
Hezekiah
Yeah.
seeks privacy by turning his face to the wall.
Yeah.
Now, what he says in his prayer, to some of y'all, it may sound self-righteous, but it's not. Listen to his prayer. This is not a prayer of repentance. His sickness and his death has nothing whatsoever to do with sin or unconfessed sin.
Okay.
Text does not say that. He got sick, which is part of life. He was going to die, which is natural of life. He's sick, he's going to die. Death is knocking on his door. He prays, he opens his heart to God. And what he says to the Lord is not some form of spiritual bartering. He's not trying to quid pro quo God. He's not saying, this is what I've done in exchange. Now I want you to do this for me.
Right.
No. He's not doing that. He's not expecting God to do something for him since he did something for God.
Okay.
Help me, Holy Ghost. Just because you come to church this morning, just because you pay your tithe, just because you do good, doesn't mean God owes you and me anything.
Right.
Did you hear what it says? A cattle on 1,000 hills belong to me.
Yes.
Silver and gold that's in the ground belongs to me. If I was hungry, I would ask you for a morsel of bread. That's what the Lord says. Look. Scripture says, God lets it rain and shine on the just as well as the unjust. Ain't hold God no favor. If anything, my brothers and sisters, we owe God something.
Yeah.
Why do we owe God? Because Hezekiah simply begs God to remember his faith and his character towards him and his word. This is the prayer. Remember now how I walked before you in truth, how I served you with a loyal heart, and and have done what is good in your sight. He says, Lord, remember these three things. Remember my faithful walk in following you. Remember how loyal I was in my heart and how loyal I was in my devotion to you. And then remember my righteous behavior. How many of us meet those three qualifications?
Well,
You've been faithful, unwavering. Have you walked faithfully? Are you loyal in your heart to him? Listen to what Hezekiah is saying here. Know the passion in the prayer. The text says that after uttering this short prayer, he breaks down and weeps bitterly. His weeping is evident that he is sincere. You know, some of us know how to fake cry.
well, my. Fake cry.
We so good, we know how to have our shoulders shut. Text says he wept bitterly. He's sincere. He's wise and have enough common spiritual sense to turn to the Lord in his times of trouble. No one can help him in this particular time but the Lord. Here's my third point. Note the promises in the sickness at verse 4 and 6. No sooner Hezekiah had finished and uttered the last words of his prayer, God answered him. Look at verse 4. And it happened before the prophet could get past the middle court of the palace, God told him to turn around. Go back to Hezekiah with a different message. That the word of the Lord came to him saying, return and tell Hezekiah, thus says the Lord, the God of David your father, I have heard your prayer and have seen your tears. Oh my God. Verse 1. I want you to understand that. Verse 1. Isaiah said, set your house in order. Verse 2. He turns to the Lord in prayer. Verse 4. Before Hezekiah, Isaiah can get past the middle court, God turns him around. Answers his prayer and says, I have seen, I've heard your prayer, I have seen your tears. God answered Hezekiah's prayer before Isaiah could leave the palace court. Oh my brothers, God answered his prayer quicker than right now and faster than at once. That's fast. That's fast. It took 2 verses for God to answer his prayer. Now, let me say quickly now, before some of you get ahead of yourself. God does not answer all prayers that way. I didn't mean to bust your bubble. Not all prayers lead to healing. Stay with me now. The fact that his prayer was answered quickly ought to be an encouragement to all of us not to quit or give up in prayer. The worst thing that we can do is be delinquent in our prayers. Because delinquency leads to delay answers. Stay with me. Hezekiah's prayer was not in vain. As a result of his prayer, the text says God gave him several wonderful promises. In verse 5, stay with me. Verse 5, we see divine pity in the promises. He says, I heard your prayer, I've seen your tears. God wanted Hezekiah to know that he was personally attentive to his condition, his concerns, his problem. God said, I heard and I've seen your tears. God cared about him. And God cares about you and me. That's the message I wanted to relay this morning.
Right.
Just like God answered his prayer, it was a sign that God cared. God was attentive to his need. And the same God who worked in Hezekiah's life cares about you and me. He's attentive to our needs. He hears our prayers. He sees our tears. If no one else cares about you this morning, I want you to know God cares. God really, truly cares about you.
Right.
The fact that you woke up this morning is evidence that God cares. The passion, the sincerity of his prayer resulted in God making 4 specific promises to him. Look at, stay with me in verse 5. First, the Lord promised to heal him. Second, God promised that he would raise Hezekiah on the 3rd day.
Right.
Now you know what happens on the 3rd day. There's that's resurrection talk. That's resurrection talk. He said he's going to heal him. He says that he's going to raise him on the 3rd day. Watch this now. In order to go to the house of the Lord, he's going to raise him. Not so that he can go to the bowling alley. He can go to the club. He can go to a ball game. He's going to raise him on the 3rd day so he can go to church. Because going to church is going to be a confirmation of the sign and the promise that he made to him. Okay, all right. See, some of y'all think you don't have to come to church to hear a word from the Lord. This text is clear. Watch this. Third, God promised to add to his days 15 more years. Fourth, God promised to deliver him and the city from the hands of the Assyrians. Now, there's something in this text that bothers me. And I need us to understand. Why would God send a message to him in verse 1 that he's going to die, and then turn around and add 15 more years? What caused God to send the message of death in verse 1 and a message of revival and addition in verse 5? You thinking with me? Did Hezekiah, did his prayer change God's mind? Because that's an important question. Because I don't want you to think that if you pray, you can change God's mind.
Right. Well.
What caused God to reverse and to bless him? This text troubled me. Was it his tears that moved God? Yes. Was it his devotion to God and his relationship to God? What caused God to say one thing in verse 1 and do something entirely different in verse 5? The answer is in verse 5. The Lord tells Hezekiah, after everything else, look at the last portion of verse 5. He says, I will defend this city for my own sake and for the sake of David. God gave Hezekiah, God reversed verse 1. Not because Hezekiah was so good. Not because he did everything God wanted him to do, which he was supposed to do. God said, I'm going to do it for my own sake. Not only what I'm doing it for my own sake, but I'm doing it for the promise I made David, your father, that I will establish his kingdom forever. Now, if I broke my promises, there's no need to send my son Jesus. Is this too heavy for y'all? I guess I'm too heavy for y'all.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. God said, I'm going to protect the city.
Right.
Not because you've been faithful. Because your faithfulness is nothing but a speck of sand in the sea of my faithfulness. I'm going to protect the city and deliver you from the hands of the enemy for my own glory.
Right.
Simply because of who I am. Simply because I have a reputation. They call it grace. That's what it is. Grace is getting something from God that you and I don't deserve. Do you deserve to be alive this morning?
Well, my.
Do you deserve food on your table? Clothes on your back? Did you deserve to wake up in your right mind? We're alive today because of Jesus Christ. And all that he has done to secure our salvation on the cross. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, because of Christ, we are the benefactors of all that God has done and what Christ is doing through us.
Well.
For his own glory.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. Listen, here's the fourth and final thing I noticed. Note the prescription that God gave to Isaiah to the king in verse 7. The prophet instructed the king's servant, says, take a lump of figs and apply it to the boil, and he will be healed. Even though God promised to heal him, stay with me now. Even though God promised to heal him, God still sent him to the drugstore to get his prescription filled. Oh my God.
My.
God could have healed him without the figs. But he didn't.
Right.
God told him to go to the drugstore and get a prescription. Take some figs. Apply it to the boil. And you will recover. Oh, my brothers and sisters, God is still sending us to the drugstore.
Right.
You praying for healing. God said, I got your healing. I got your prescription. Go to Walgreens. Right Aid.
Amen. Amen.
But this serious, y'all. Because what I have discovered, because in that day, it was a common practice to use figs to heal boils. And what we did, there are folk today who don't like to take their meds because you've been waiting and praying for healing. That's not what this text says here.
Amen.
You got high blood pressure? You better take that pill.
Amen.
I don't like how it affects my sexual thing.
Well.
Either you're going to live or you're going to die. Some going to get cut off. And some can live. Ain't no sense you praying for healing and God has a prescription for you. I'm waiting and praying for the Lord to heal me. That's not what Hezekiah said. That's not what the Lord told him. You need something to keep you balanced. Because there's a chemical imbalance in all of us to one degree or another. You better take that pill. Okay. Isaiah writes the prescription for his healing. Hezekiah inquires about a sign. How would I know what you told me will be affirmed? I know the Lord told you one thing, and then the Lord told you another thing. I need a sign to confirm the word that you gave me. Watch this now. How would I know that I'm going to be healed and then go up on the third day for worship? What's the sign? How will I know that what you have told me? Now, Hezekiah was smart in that he asked for a sign, not of doubt, but confirmation. 1 John 4:1 states, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are God. You do realize there's some human spirits that speak in the name of the Lord, but there's no confirmation that it comes from the Lord. I was watching the other day the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington. And every time that demon would move upon somebody, they would sing, time is on my side. Yes, it is.
Right.
If y'all start singing that, I know something's up. Here's a sign from the Lord that proves everything he has spoken and promised will come true. Hezekiah, your father, Ahaz, built a stairway in the palace. And somehow he attached a sundial. A sundial records time by the position of the sunlight in correspondence with shadows. It measures time. It measures sunrise to sunset.
All right.
The less shadows you see, you know it's daytime and it's high noon. And then when the shadows begin to appear, you know that it's getting close to sunset. So Isaiah says, you know how the sundial works. He says it goes forward 10 degrees or backwards 10 degrees. Hezekiah said, well, it's easy if it goes forward. I want the impossible. Let it go back. Reverse time 10 degrees. And the text says that God calls the sundial time to reverse and go back 10 degrees in correspondence to the 15 years that God was going to add to the king's life. Some of y'all might ask the question, how did God do it? It doesn't really matter how God did it. The only thing that matters is that God did it. Folk kill me. They always ask, well, how did you do it? Doesn't really matter how I did it.
Right.
Just enjoy it. And what the Lord has done, oh my brothers and sisters. And so the next time, that's what it says that when God reversed the time, the text says that Hezekiah went to church and worshiped. You see, the church ought to be the first place you go. Because on Monday you got hell. Tuesday you're dealing with hellish people. Wednesday you're dealing with more hellish people. Thursday and Friday you're dealing with all kinds of problems. Your kids acting crazy. Saturday everything's breaking down. But I can't wait till Sunday. remember that God has the power not only to protect you, God can deliver you from the enemy. God has the power to heal your broken body.
Right?
Yes, sir.
No one like him. There is no one like him.
Nobody. Nobody.
And when life comes fast, God has your back.
Yes, sir.
The doors of church are open.
Thank you.
There may be someone here this morning who needs to be reminded of the fact that God is good. And that he's good all the time. Church is about getting your personal relationship right with him. It's not about the people. If you let people become a distraction, you're going to miss the blessing that God has for you. You're not going to do your assignment that he has equipped you to do. Don't make it about anyone but you and the Lord. Stay focused like Peter. You take your eyes off of him on the water and you will sink.
Yeah.
Just like Jesus says, why did you lose faith? It's easy to lose faith when your sight and focus is on yourself and others. Take your eyes off of man and put it on Christ. Nobody great. If you are here this morning, you unchurched, you unsaved, or you need to be reconnected with the Lord, this is your moment, your outlook. Is that one man, woman, or child? Search all over. Couldn't find. With high and low. Still to find. All right. Good church, amen. Let's prepare our minds and hearts now to leave this place as we go next door for our first session of spiritual convocation. I pray that you will be engaged in the discussion of the lesson so that you might be blessed through the word of God. Amen.
Amen.
Let's look to the Lord. Oh God, we thank you again for our hearts are filled and ears heard. We thank you for your word. We thank you for the Hezekiahs and the Isaiahs of life that help us understand what we need to do when life comes at us fast. Help us realize, Lord, that if we're not a praying people, we have already lost the fight by default. Help us to become more spiritual in our understanding, in our behavior. Help us to look and depend upon your Holy Spirit for guidance and for strength and understanding. Bless us now as we depart from this place, but never from your tender mercies. In Jesus' name, before we sing, those who love the name of Jesus say, Amen.
Amen.